Good morning, Bible Club. I'm Pastor Gail Dingwell of Ridgecrest, New York, and this is the end of the month summary for February 2017. An apt metaphor for where we are in the narrative of God's people would be that of an old school potter. We've been watching him vicariously go to a specific spot along the riverbank, scoop out buckets full of a specific type of clay. Then we watch him take this clay back to his workshop, pull out handful after handful from the bucket, place it on the wheel, and begin shaping it. Hours after hours, carefully shaping the clay. He fires it in an amazingly hot oven or kiln. And once fired, he then applies layers of glaze and finish and continues to repeat the process over and over again until each piece is beautiful, strong, and useful for his purposes. This is the Lord crafting Israel into his priestly nation who would bring forth the redemption of mankind. Now, in the beginning, we picked up the story of God's people having been redeemed from their idolatry and repurposed to build a tabernacle, a meeting place for Moses, for the high priest Aaron, and the Lord. This tabernacle would become central to the entire Israelite community, who would encamp in the exact locations that the Lord prescribes based upon their tribe and their tribe's position to the tabernacle. Now, much of the last 2 weeks has been invested in the details of what would happen not outside but within the boundaries of this tent of meeting. Specifically, there are a litany of offerings which are required as part of a fallen people interacting with a holy and righteous God. These offerings are symbolic of the sacrifice that God himself would be making in Jesus on Calvary's cross. That, and then also the ongoing sanctification or cleansing of sin for the born-again believer. Now, there is much innocent blood that would be shed to pay for the sins of mankind, and many sacrifices that would align the values of God's people with the very values of the Father himself. Also, in the narrative over the last couple of weeks, we saw Aaron's sons, priests in their own right. They are killed as they somehow add their own spin on the ritual burning of incense. We also saw that Aaron and Miriam are envious of Moses' unique role in the kingdom. They actually attempt to undermine his authority, and Miriam is afflicted with leprosy until repenting and being cleansed outside the camp. We finish off February in the book of Numbers and the census of God's people. They are no longer the rabble of Egypt. They are now God's army. Thank you for reading along with us. May you discover the Father's blessing in his living word.